All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Michelle Alcorn with my mom, Helen, here from Atlantic Canada Cooks. December 15th. And we just had we're going to be talking about holiday favorites. But there was an earlier holiday, and that would be, it was my mom's birthday on Friday. So happy birthday, Mom.
Yep, thank you.
And one of our favorite guests of all time, who's been with us for 4.5 years, and one of my mother's longest, dearest friends, Joan. Happy birthday to you. We're going to sing you a song at the end. There's Shinobu coming in from Japan. Always just in time for those celebrations, Shinobu. So, hey, everybody. We've also got an extra special guest. Come on over here and say hi, Sufayan, and behind Mom and I.
Good morning, everyone.
Right. We have Sufayan visiting from Morocco. And he's going to zaza up our holiday favorites today. He's going to introduce a new holiday favorite, which actually has been sort of a favorite of Michelle's when she travels in Morocco. And it's got the best name.
Well, it's called Zaza in the Moroccan way.
So tell us a little bit about what that's going to be.
Well, in many recipes, you may just find that avocado can be used in different ways, probably as a salad, or smashed for guacamole, or with seafood, or like just in sushi. Today, you're gonna see it in a different way as a sweet dessert on the Moroccan way, of course.
Kind of like a great shake or a preliminary. So Jawad and I actually explored a really big one when we were in Cabernet in the summer, and it was delicious. So we went shopping as usual. Some of our local places that we love to go. We were at the farmer's market yesterday. Hi, Louise from Deli Sur. We had a great time visiting them, and Mom got a birthday empanada.
Thank you.
And then we took a tour over to the Rabia store on St. George Street in Moncton to pick up some avocados and some dates. Where are those beautiful dates, Sufan?
They're over here.
So we're going to be using some really different, well, not really different because we eat dates here, but some really healthy parts to all of our recipes today. So if you see, Mom and I are busy here tearing up little pieces of bread, because one of the other recipes we're going to make is a bread stuffing with some bread and potatoes, which is very traditional to be served for holiday dishes, side dishes. And what I love about it is you really want your bread to be about a day old, a little dried out. So never throw out bread or hobs, as we would say in Morocco. It's a great time of year to use this either for a bread stuffing, savory dish, or a bread pudding, right?
Right.
We featured those before. So we had some multi-grain baguettes. So we're pulling those apart, and we had some beautiful sourdough bread. Thank you, Mom. Some sourdough bread that we had, and we're pulling that, and we're just pulling it into little bits, bite size, and we're going to mix some other great ingredients. We're also going to make a lovely sweet potato recipe that is designed to be served as a savory dish, but it also is going to have a little sweet. And Supriya not only is a great fitness trainer, but he's really good at helping us think about healthy foods. And dates are frequently used as a natural sweetener, right?
Exactly.
So we're going to use it in our Zaza. I just like saying Zaza. I think we have to dance every time we say Zaza. And I'm going to use some dates in with our sweet potato recipe today to bake. And I know that they're going to add not just unbelievable flavor, but that great sweetness and obviously a little bit more health and wellness to the day. So we're going to Sufian's going to prep some ingredients. I'm going to call on him in a minute because he's getting his healthy ingredients ready. This looks good. Thank you, Mom. And quality control. We missed one.
Oh, I did my share. It was yours you missed.
Oh, there we go. She's the coach in the kitchen today. So you can see that we've got some white bread in here. We've got some of that multi-grain bread. Thank you, Mom. And we've just again, torn it into little pieces. This is what I like because get in with your hands with this recipe. And for the amount we're making today, this is the amount of bread I have. It's probably the equivalent of about 5 cups of bread, maybe, Mom? About 5
Yeah.
measuring cups of
Roughly.
bread. We'll put this down. You can kind of use this recipe a little bit as you like. So we're going to get a burner on the back. So one of the important ingredients that we need to do for this recipe, look, I found another one, is we need to cook up some onions. So I have already pre-cooked, if you want to grab those mashed potatoes for me. I've pre-cooked some potatoes up, and you want to use a white potato in this. You definitely, I wouldn't use a sweet potato in it because the flavor and the consistency, thank you, Mom, of the sweet potato won't be what we want. So what I have done here is I boiled up a couple of potatoes and we mashed them. So, and in here, I have the equivalent of about 250 milliliters or 2 cups of mashed potato. Now, we just boiled the potato and mashed it. There's no seasoning or anything in this particular potato. So we have our potato and we have our bread. And this is called a potato and bread stuffing. So we have our core ingredients. But the other thing that we're going to put in, and there's a good amount of onion in this, but remember your onion's going to cook down. So we've got some diced onion here on the board, and we wanted the onions diced small. So you definitely want them cut as small as you can. We wouldn't want to shred them because we still want to get some of the onion. But just remember, when we cook this, it's going to cook down by almost 50%. And that's what we're going to want left. So we need to get some butter in that
It's
pan.
already done.
Oh, you want olive oil, which is great, Mom, because you and I have, what would we say, added a little more health and wellness because a lot of the traditional recipe, you're going to use about 4 tablespoons of butter.
Which is wonderful. I brought up on it.
Right? So we did use some butter in there, but Mom and I over the years have added a little bit of olive oil
Too.
as well.
Yes.
And it just adds a little more health and wellness and not as much fat. And of course, what about this ingredient, Mom?
This one
Summer
here.
savory.
Oh, summer savory. Our best one.
Right?
Yeah, put that in a dressing. I have it since I was a kid. My mother made it. Now I use it. And a lot of people use, what was the other one? Sage.
Yeah. And this is fun. So we actually quite love this brand, and I want to say to Farmer John's, and I brought this a lot to our friends in Morocco. So Milou, Amal, we hope you're enjoying your summer savory, and many of our other friends, aunts, and uncles. But here we go. But this one, yeah, is that hot enough now, Mom? All right, I'm gonna pass these back to Mom. Here we go. Got that? So this is from my backyard. We talk a lot about food sustainability and shorter supply chains. Well, I grew this in my backyard. It smells absolutely amazing. So this is also summer savory here. So I wish I had smell-o-vision. It smells absolutely amazing. We picked it and I put it in the bag near one of my, away from the fan, but near one of the heaters. And now it's all beautifully dried. And we're giving some of this to handed Jawad to take home to use in their new home here in Canada. And I just realizing I have 2 different kinds of herbs in here as well. So, ooh, I've got summer savory and I've got some marjoram. Let's make sure we get the summer savory. And because it's all dried, I can get that off so easily. And we're going to be adding some of my fresh summer savory to this. You can put it back there, Mom. I'm going to use it a few more minutes. So I'm going to put some of this in. But This is high quality product. And as we say here in Atlantic Canada Cooks, when you start with good ingredients, you're going to get good results. So I'm just going to see behind you, Mom. Yep. So I put about 3 tablespoons, so the larger spoon size of the summer savory went into that dish. And it's going to cook down. We're also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'd like to add a little bit of garlic powder to it as well. So we don't want that too high to burn. And if you want to just put some salt and pepper in there, Mom. So what we're going to be creating with this particular one is the onions, salt, pepper, butter, and summer savory are just going to cook down till they get soft. We're not looking at browning the onions. It's a term we would say translucent. We want those onions to get cooked through. And then we're going to go back over to our really big bowl and we're going to combine all those ingredients together to be able to put it into a pan. There we go. So we're using some sea salt. There we go. And did you put a good amount of pepper in there, Mom?
Yeah.
So that's going to take probably about 5 to 10 minutes just to soften and to cook down, maybe 5 minutes. So while that's cooking down, I'm going to get some of my ingredients out for our next recipe. And I wanted to use a few ingredients today for holiday dishes. I particularly love these. And I have recently learned, so one of my best buds here, Sufyan's here, and he's not had a Brussels sprouts. So I'm quite excited to introduce these wonderful little vegetables, which some people like and some people don't. But I'll tell you, it's like a tiny baby cabbage, if you see. So if you already like cabbage, there's a good likelihood that you will actually quite like the flavor of a Brussels sprout as well. I haven't met a vegetable I didn't like. So I love using all the good fresh vegetables, but you'll often see these Brussels sprouts used this time of year in recipes. They're harvested here in the late fall. They're sort of one of those ones that can get harvested at the end of our fall harvest, and they stay really well, and they're stored properly in your refrigerator. So we've got them here. You see, we've got some different sizes of them. They're very healthy. And I think we all know that when you eat those really good green leafy vegetables, that's where we know there's a lot of healthy properties. So guess what? This is green and it's leafy. So we know it's in that really good vegetable category. So we have a few smaller ones and then see some of these ones that are much bigger. So for baking them, we want them to be similar size. So I'm probably not going to cut those little ones in half, but I'm going to take some of these really big ones and I'm going to cut those in half so that they're going to fit into our pan. We do have a few extra today. And then what you're going to see happen is sometimes that extra layer is going to come off. We're going to leave those in our roasting pan because we're going to season these and they roast very well and they're delicious. So there's the inside of it. And just like a cabbage, you see all those beautiful layers. And I have to say, Mother Nature, you outdid yourself on this one. It's a beautiful vegetable. It's a delicious vegetable. And it's full of nutrients for our health and wellness. So when you cut them, as I said, you'll see some of the layers come off. And that's okay because they get nice and crispy in the oven. So I've also seen many people peel all of the layers off and make what they call Brussels chips. So they'll put them in their air fryer and use them like a little, like instead of a potato chip, it is a vegetable chip. And again, they're absolutely delicious. Now, the flavor can sometimes be a little like it's got a little bit of bitterness to it, like some greens do. So what I like to do is add some sweetness. And here's some of the flavors that go very well with Brussels sprouts. Where's that olive oil, Mom? We do that on the burner. Oh, so good. I'm going to give you a little bit more olive oil. We're going to put a little bit more olive oil in Mom's mixture. So I've cut these up, and you'll see some are cut in half, some are whole in here. I just, a little quality control check. There's one more bigger one. And when they're cut in half, they're going to cook a little faster. So remember, we're looking for even cooking times. So I've got some. So get your favorite balsamic vinegar out. So balsamic vinegar is a reduced vinegar. And it has a little bit of a nice sweetness to it as well, which is really fantastic. So I'm drizzling olive oil over the top. And I'm going to get Mom to pass me that pepper shaker. So that's okay. Mom, you might want to turn that burner down. We're going to put a little bit of salt and some some cracked pepper. Ibrahim's busy getting his, it's really great, his ingredients together. And it's like also a perfect breakfast smoothie. And that's one of the first things he made me when he arrived here from Morocco. So very thankful. So we're definitely having an international meal. These are wonderful Moroccan oranges or clementines for these ones that we picked up yesterday at the Rabia store. Wonderful and juicy. And it's interesting because even if I just put the raw ingredients in here, you can already tell it's going to be a beautiful dish. But we want the juice from the oranges. So we're going to just make sure. And for the amount that I'm making, one of these little oranges is going to be absolutely perfect for me. And as I'm squeezing it, just making sure I get a little of that citrus on every piece. This is kind of the extra care you put in with some meals. And because this is one of the first for my friends, I want to make sure. And that citrus is going to steam up when we bake this. Oh, and it's going to add some wonderful flavor in with the Brussels sprouts. The other thing I find that the citrus does is the citrus actually cuts down on some of the stronger flavors that are in it. So because I want to use all of the different pieces and get the flavor out of this orange, I'm just going to rip it into a few pieces and put it in with my Brussels sprouts. So when it bakes, the rest of that flavor will go into our dish. Mom, just behind you, there's some garlic powder. And oh, guess what? Look, right there. Look right here. Sometimes I've got things handier than I think. So we have the Brussels sprouts, we have the salt, pepper, some olive oil, and that orange juice. And now, just need to get a cooking towel. We had many. Always a good idea to have a nice clean cooking towel for your hands. And we've got this wonderful balsamic vinegar. Smells great.
Oh, lovely.
Right? So we're just going to put this across. I got my great camera crew and video crew here. And soon we're going to add another camera so we can look down at what I'm doing. And there we go. You can see the amount of balsamic vinegar that went across that, the orange that's in there. And I am just going to top this off with a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm sort of leaving the garlic powder till the end because now there's lots of good things, liquid that this is going to stick to. And we're just going to put a little dusting. We're going to let it snow. We're going to let it snow on our Brussels sprouts. I almost called the parsnips, which is not even remotely close. but also an underrated vegetable that I will cook with later. So this is going to go into the oven. These are going to bake up. I am going to be serving this with some soft cheese and walnuts. So once these are all baked up and really ready to go, which we'll show you a picture of later, I just see Dion joining us. I hope you'll think about getting some more Brussels sprouts into your day. But we're going to bake these a little later this afternoon. So I'm going to set these aside. How are our onions looking, Mom?
They're ready.
They are?
Yeah.
Sufayan. I think the onions look really good, Mom. And we're going to get Sufayan to come in here. And at second and start his Zaza. So let's take these over. It's like a beautiful onion facial. So hopefully you can see where the onions have cooked down. They're beautifully covered and all that summer savory. And we've got some garlic powder, salt and pepper. Right, Mom?
Right.
So we're going to be taking and combining this with the bread and the mashed potatoes. But we're going to do this afterwards. We're going to invite Sufyan to come over. If those are done. And
He's in your way.
all right.
I'm back.
Good
So we're gonna
selection.
start it with the avocado first, and I'd like to show people how to pick a great fresh avocado.
Love it.
If you can go for that spot on the top, you can just take it out and you can see if it's clear and green. If it's clear and green, don't hesitate to pick that one. If it's brown and dark, you may just leave it. So we're gonna start by cutting the avocado into pieces.
And you're just cutting down to the pit, right?
Yeah.
And then giving it a little twist. How beautiful that is. Cut perfectly. And I know a little trick here. You just take your knife and you twist. Usually, there we go. This will come right out. Too bad we couldn't plant an avocado tree.
Here with the spoon, you can have it all. Just take it straight into the mixer or the blender. And the amount of avocado you're going to be using will define the texture of your smoothie. If you want it to be like more liquid or more creamy, I usually go for the more creamy one.
So would you make 2 avocados for a 1-person serving?
I'd say like 1 avocado per each. It will give the perfect texture.
Love it.
Yeah.
And this is a recipe that I want to say getting more smoothies and juice into our life is a good thing. It's full of wonderful vegetables, vitamins, and it really is a healthy start to your day or a snack,
It is.
right?
And once you got it, you're gonna just feel you already had a full meal perfectly.
Right, Mom? I think he brought you over one and you were
Yeah.
like, wow, I think I've already got my meal for my morning.
Think we're done with the avocado.
And he's putting it right in. We've got one of those ninja blenders that you can use in different size. If not, if you have a hand blender, those work very well. So, and I know not everybody has the big one.
We go for the dates. As you know, in Morocco, it has a symbolic signification. It's a welcoming fruit or a sign of hospitality. When someone usually visit Morocco, that's the first thing we welcome him with, is the dates. You can put as much as you want, depends on how sweet you want the smoothie to be. So we're gonna add this one. I already took the seed out,
He already took the seed out,
just in case
and
you
I
don't
am
want to ruin your blender.
and I'm sneaking behind him, taking one of these beautiful walnuts and stuffing it into it. and
We're gonna
eating
be adding some raisins as well.
them. Those are golden raisins.
Yep. And as you can see, almonds.
And those almonds are raw almonds. They're not salted.
And the last step gonna be either, depends on the person, if you prefer milk or oranges, you can use both. If not, you can just put water. You're gonna perfectly work. But if you put the orange juice in the avocado or the milk in it, it's gonna give complete different tastes. So you have to try both versions. So you just can say and see which one you prefer more.
We voted for orange juice this morning. These are for after, right?
Yeah, those for
Okay.
topping.
So he's gonna make some noise with the blender, but he's done an amazing job. This is a beautiful dish to make. When you're getting on, you can hear the nuts, right? And that. He's good. Every time I go to talk, he hits the blender. Perfect. This is the other toppings he's going to put on it. I'm just going to move a few of these things out of his way. And then we're going to come back over to our sweet potato dish. That's going to continue to have some of that great health and wellness in it.
So
There we go.
The drink is ready. And I'm gonna just try to show you the texture.
There we go. Put it in that little
It's
cup.
not that liquid, and it's more like a creamy.
If you want to build,
No, I'm gonna make the real version. The one we have in
with the
Morocco.
big mug.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. So tell us what you're doing.
Ooh. Emily.
Well, I think on the camera they cannot see the details in.
Yeah, they can. They can see all of it. So tell us what you're doing.
I'm just preparing it the Moroccan way, because that's the size of the avocado we usually got in Morocco. Like, this is the typical size.
So I have a feeling it's going to be falling out of the cup, which is also kind of what happens. The cautious Canadian would have maybe done this much less, just so that it's not all going to overflow. But so we're cutting bananas.
You can use any fruit you have, blackberries, strawberries,
As you like.
as you like. Of course, we're gonna have pieces of kiwi here.
So I can see Joanne's watching over from Moncton and says, "Do you deliver?" No, not today. We're consuming at home. Love it. Very nice presentation. Yes, as you can see, they can see everything you're doing.
Can just add more of this here.
So one of the times I've ordered this a few times during my travels because it's really that delicious. I've seen them layer some halfway through. So they'll fill half the cup with your avocado smoothie, put some fruit in the middle, and then more smoothie on top, which is another great way to have
We
it.
call it the royal version of the smoothie.
Apparently that's
Yeah.
what I was having on that particular day. So he's put some chocolate, and now we're putting some walnuts.
You can add some honey on the top if it's wishes.
It's right there.
Mhm.
Honey or maple syrup, because now he's in
Exactly.
Canada and he has access to maple syrup. So we're gonna get our honey bear out, which he's gonna need a refill too. And the wonderful thing is we can get lots of very, very good local honey bear. When you made me my first one, you put honey across the top. And I think the honey bear was new.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the dates sitting here. The great thing, if you remember, is you put the dates inside of it.
That will give the sweetness to the drink, and you don't have to feel guilty about having it because it's like all good sugar.
It's definitely all the good sugar. I need to take a picture of it. We've got so much stuff. Let's hold it up to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if I can lift it. Seriously. Wow. See, this is also just weightlifting. Look at that. Shinobu is leaning in all the way from Japan saying,
Take it closer.
that's what. I think we got it. Here we
Here.
go.
as you can see. For the topping, you can use whatever you wish.
That looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to want to taste that. But Mom, do you want to do the honors of the first taste? She's smiling. Do you deliver? Sufyan, do you deliver? She's on the other, she always laughing, on the other side of the kitchen. I think we can deliver that to her. She just is in charge of taking a couple of extra good pictures of it. So you hold it up and we're going to take an online selfie. So we love that. Sufyan, I think that is absolutely amazing. I'm going to sneak over here on the side and pull the rest of this together.
All
But
right.
I'm going to get you to take all these beautiful ingredients. I'm going to keep a couple dates. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's going to be so good.
Is that frying pan on? No.
No, the oven's on.
Delivery's
Oh, yeah.
coming.
So let's go back and take a couple minutes and complete. We're going to go back to our bread and potato
I
stuffing.
can't even drink too much.
So we've got wonderful amounts of bread in here. If you remember earlier, we used some white bread and some multi-grain bread. And we just torn it up into little, dropping it in behind in little pieces. I love it when I have guests in my kitchen. I'm going to remind them that they're standing right by the microphone. So if as they're whispering out to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. They love having you guys out here. Really appreciate everybody. And for our YouTube and our fans that come on soon, we love that. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're committed to making some other, I've got a pantry video coming up on top things to have in your pantry. We're making key recipes. Just some things to make it easy so you can do a little bit more healthier and explore the world with some great recipes at home. So I'm going to show you. So this ratio in here, bread to potato, it's about 75% bread and about 30% potato. I'm just giving that a little mix through. Let's just show you here in the audience the proportions between the two. And now we're going to add in really where all the flavor is and all the seasoning right here. So in this pan, you can see the summer savory all across the onions with the butter and the olive oil. It smells amazing. And this recipe is pretty close to what I grew up as a little girl with my mom making. And it came from her mom, and even my dad's mom made similar. So it's quite traditional. Our family loves it when I make it. I've probably, we say, zhuzhed it up or advanced the recipe a little bit. But maybe with adding some garlic, we might not have put garlic into it. And a little extra butter. Because, you know, butter makes everything better. So I want to show you as this comes together, the moisture level, the potatoes really give it moisture. I think there was a time, Mom, that we didn't put potato in it.
No.
We just used the bread and the onions and the seasoning. We like it with a little bit of potato. It gives it a little bit more density. And actually, when it bakes, it adds a nice amount of moisture into this dish. This is generally served as a side dish with what turkey
Or chicken.
or chicken, exactly, Mom, a roast chicken or a roast turkey, whichever that you're having during the season. I can tell that the consistency is great because when you can pull it together,
Your hand.
I can turn it into, I'm really gonna have to wash this hand after this. You can turn it into almost like a sticky ball. And I have done it before and turn it into balls and bake those up because they're really nice to serve when you're having friends over. And it acts a little bit more like an appetizer. But now we're going to navigate the dirty hand and the big bowl. So I'm using a clear large pan for this one. Grab my olive oil. I always love it when I grab this bottle, like Morocco. And we're just going to put some oil through the bottom of the pan. And the biggest reason for that is we don't want all of the dressing to stick to the pan because we're going to bake this at a high temperature. Turn this around. And I think I measured pretty well this time. And we never mind having leftovers of this particular recipe because it's so delicious. We're still looking at what we're doing today, but we had a little bit of a talk. It is an absolutely beautiful sunny day. Dwight and I were on earlier. It's his version, -11 and beautiful. He's like, I wish that a minus was a plus sign. But I have a feeling that we might take a drive down to Alma today and have a little visit down because the drive down the river. So it's the 114 highway here. It's about 80 kilometers down to Fundy National Park, a little beautiful town called Alma. That is where my father grew up and his family and his sister. Hey, Greta, that's on this call. And it is a place that's full of memories. I always make sure I take a trip down before the holidays.
My lobster.
Come on up here. And I opened my mouth and it came out of my mother's. And it's her birthday. And we always get Bay of Fundy lobster for Helen's birthday. And it is literally one of her favorite dishes. So how'd I do with this one, Mom?
Looks good.
Huh? Looks like it should.
Oh, smells good too.
So what will we get when we go down? Lobster.
Oh, maybe lobster.
I'm gonna start this as a little bit of a pre-cook along with our Brussels sprouts. And we're gonna finish cooking them later. Because if we're gonna take a drive this afternoon, we won't be back for long cooking times. So it's a good idea sometimes to power cook.
Yeah.
Certain recipes are good that way, others are not. This particular one is. But I think I need another baking pan. So we're going to do one last recipe with some sweet potatoes. But we're going to add a few extra little things
Okay.
to add some more sweet. Sometimes we put raisins in them, right? It's fun. So didn't have all my pans handy. We start. So we're going to do the sweet potato bake. Many people do this, and you can add a lot of extra sweet or savory. I'm putting a good amount of olive oil on the bottom. And we've got our sweet potatoes here. These are otherwise known as our microphones. Sylviane likes to sing, so there'll be a good at-home karaoke microphone. I am going to cut our potatoes into bite-sized pieces. And this is great because it's a nice little skinny sweet potato. So it's already semi-set. Watch your fingers there, Mom.
Yeah.
And don't slip on the banana peel. That's just food humor. Food humor. There's a banana peel sitting here, and we didn't want anybody to slip on the peel. Sweet potatoes are really full of a lot of nutrients. Much more than a standard white potato has. So we hope some of you take some time to get some more sweet potato into your world. They're delicious mashed. I love doing a mashed sweet potato. After we do that one, then we'll add some cinnamon and other flavors. This is one of those dishes too. You can come home from work, get your potatoes cut up, and then it'll bake for about 35 minutes in the oven. And then you're ready to sit down and enjoy a great meal. They do have a shorter cook time too. That's
They
nice
do.
than a white potato. So that works out well. So there's our sweet potato in the pan. We pitted these. Thank you, Sufyan. I don't think we took the pits out of all of them.
No.
Actually, apparently I grabbed the only 4 that still had the pits in them. That's what, well, we'll show you. So, and I love that he said the pit or the seed in the middle of it. And you're right, Sue. I can imagine if you're putting those in a smoothie, those are not so good
No.
in the blender. That was a good tip because they look so delicious as is. And look how skinny that is.
I know.
And these are the best dates.
Break your tooth on it.
You could. We know a few people that have broken teeth recently. A few teeth stories. Hello to those who know we're talking about them. And there's more than one of you out there. So we've got the dates here. I want these. Do you know, I often use raisins and I like dates because I can use 4 dates instead of a half a cup of raisins because they're so much bigger. I'm going to just cut these into quarters and put them around. The other thing is, it's funny. It's other than avocado, I feel like I'm making a savory zaza. Interesting how I'm looking at these ingredients, and your ingredients can go in between different recipes. We have these beautiful walnuts. Walnuts, I think, are one of our favorite. We love this with pecans, though.
Yeah.
Right? This is a recipe we love to do with pecans as well. But I think quite the same around the world. Pecans are delicious, but more expensive. So if you're making this, and we can get walnuts much more readily available. It's great to see too. Yesterday at the Rabia store, he has them all still in the shells. So this is a little extra work.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was little, Mom.
We always had the big bag of mixed nuts at Christmas.
Right?
Yeah.
And we would sit and
crack nuts, and then I have to sweep the floor after. All the stuff went flying.
But it was our one time we were allowed to make a mess.
Yeah.
Well, more than one time, and opening gifts and things too.
Yeah.
So we're going to, Mom, can you reach that microplane? Or maybe I can. Oh, I'll use this paper. Take one. So orange and citrus are wonderful seasons all year long, or flavors all year long. But I find here at the holidays, we put a little bit more festive seasoning, and you'll see the oranges or clementines get used in a lot of other recipes. Oh, that one works too. That's a good one. I like that one. So because it's my house, smile to Hand, who is here, I have 4 or 5 of everything. This is a zester.
I'm trying to get that.
And this is a bigger version of that zester. And it has a wonderful protector on it. And why? Because it's very sharp blades. So, but what I really want to use is some of the rind to get that extra flavor. And so sometimes when you're making some of you can just put a little bit of that if you really want orange flavor in some of your smoothies and stuff. And Mom, it's great to add orange flavor if you don't want to add all the liquid as well.
Yeah.
Albeit today we're going to use
There's
the liquid.
more flavor in the rind than any place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you sure taught me that, making your biscuits and
Oh yeah.
all the other things. Key point. Take the stuff off the rind before you cut the orange. I've done both. And then you're trying to squeeze orange juice all over yourself at the same time. Or have a backup orange. But don't forget to eat the orange, because this is in our spirit of zero waste. We want to say hi to everybody at the Bucktooth Farmers Market. Unfortunately, I had been traveling, but they just had their Christmas market. And it was a beautiful year-end celebration up in Bucktooth. And it's always worth the drive, but you can save that drive until the spring when they reopen the market. So I am only putting my finger in the correct direction across those blades, but hopefully you can see that nice chunk of the orange peeling, or the rind, as we say.
Yeah.
And that little guy was very good to us.
Yeah.
He had a nice, which he looks like he's been through better days. But that's right. So now we're just going to cut that in half, and we're going to squeeze a bit of the juice again across the sweet potato. And I'm only going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to this now. Actually, I think I have both in front of me. Yes, I can see the pepper and I can see the salt.
Oh yeah.
This is a wonderful time, though, to use some of those wonderful. Let's see if I have it handy. We're going to drive right by. I'm going to give a shout out to Marina. There we go at Funday Coast Sea Salt. So we're going to drive right by here and we take the drive down to 114 today. And clearly I need to see her. Look, I just pulled an empty bottle. Can't even make that up on live. Just pulled it. So I have to go because my bottle is completely empty. But I have another one here. Here we go. We'll use this one. This is the Fleur de Sel. This is Tidal Salt. So this is from Nova Scotia. So we're going to work our way. This is what I was looking for. So some of these sea salts are infused with other flavors. Unbelievable. So this particular one is fire. But that was habanero. So it had some habanero peppers. But I see Mom smiling at me. So we're going to skip the habanero in this particular recipe.
Please.
And we're just going to use, and that's absolutely beautiful. You can see the salt. And the other thing when you're using these beautiful sea salts, there we go. The little flakes are a little bit bigger and they stick perfectly to the food. I think this looks
And
pretty
you
good.
don't have to use as much salt because they're bigger pieces.
Right?
It's not like the fine salt.
I think it's perfect other than I need another date. And we're going to go over here. I was still hoping that I'd find one that I didn't have to take a pet out of, but Sufayan measured his Zaza perfectly. Look, and these actually, no, I'm going to need to cut them. And so there is an updated sweet potato bake recipe. Use it anytime as a wonderful side dish. Some of my vegetarian friends might just add a little bit more of every ingredient and actually use this as a little bit more of a main dish, which you could. And we've got some other friends that sometimes do this and they'll add some sausages, whatever as you like.
Oh, it looks good.
Doesn't that look pretty? So not only does it look good, it certainly smells good, and we haven't even cooked it yet.
Yeah.
And we say that when you walk right by, you smell it first, then you see it, and then you taste it. So food is meant to be shared, and it's certainly a great exploration. So this is going to bake in the oven until everything's cooked through. So depending on how big your potatoes are, you can just do a little test. But I would say I would bake this probably at about 375, and it's probably going to bake for about 35 minutes, and that'll be ready. But I'm not going to pre-bake this one.
No.
Because it doesn't take as long. And you're right, Mom. The dates might dry out a bit being baked twice.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave this one. I'm going to leave this one set aside. And we're going to bake that up tonight when we get back from our drive. So there's a few of our holiday favorites. How's that Zaza making out? Because I definitely want to try that as a rev. Sophia, as we get up here to say good night to Shinobu in Japan, but have a great day to everybody else, regardless of what time zone that you're in. And we just want to say from Atlantic Canada Cooks, you know what? Get some more joy. We've got our poinsettia here from MacArthur's. We're enjoying that every day, right?
Yeah, we do.
Sylvian's not wearing a Santa costume right now, but we've also been enjoying decorating.
Yeah.
And getting a lot of great things done this week.
My t-shirt.
And Mom has her Christmas. I'm, of course, wearing my Canada. And I do have my hat. So there we go. So from our kitchen to yours.
What's yours?
Shinobu has her mini hat on. We love that. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for many more recipes and some little mini videos and some clips that you can share. Invite your friends and families, but most importantly, spend some time in your kitchen, right? And cook some good food.
Share it with people you love,
And share
as you
it.
always say.
Yes.
Sharing
is
caring.
caring, right? And we do deliver on occasion. And I think we'll be sharing some of these delicious treats with our friends today.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.
Enjoy your trip to Alma.
Rita, we will. We'll call you from Alma. We'll definitely do that.
Listen to the waves.
Right? Awesome. Have a great day,
It's a
everybody.
beautiful day for a drive, though.
Right?
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
There's not a cloud in the sky. It's sunny, and it's just one of those perfect days to take a drive.
Right.
All right, everybody.
Take care.
See you later.
Oh, Joan, come on.
There's Jones there, the birthday girl.
Recording stopped.
Look, our streaming people as Michelle figures out.